Hey there, welcome to Digital Rewind. My name is Dan, and I love finding things that I love and paying less than I should for them. I think the big thing about what I call treasure hunting, people can call it thrifting, is there's two aspects of it. There's the buy and sell, finding something for less than you'd pay for it or less than you know it's worth, and then flipping it and selling it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something like that. There's a lot of that I do, and I love it. And it gets its criticism. I think people see it as ripping other people off when you got a deal. But I love that high of finding something less than what I know it's worth out in the wild. It's at a thrift store or something like that, or at a garage sale. The difference between a garage sale and a thrift store, I think, is at a garage sale is someone's home. And so it's important to offer them close to the value of what you think it's worth, or at least a value that makes them happy, helping them understand that it has more value than maybe what they're selling it for. Certain things like thrift stores, depending on the thrift store, it's like they've priced it, they've researched it. It is a retail store. So I'm going to go and pay what they're asking and get out of there. And if I flip it and sell it online and make a bunch of money off of it, that's really exciting. The second side is the collector side. There are certain things that I look for: electronics, old video games, old Lego or Hot Wheels cars, things like that. Things that are really collectible that I or my kids really enjoy. And I like finding those things for less than retail price or less than what they're worth, because it feels like you're winning a little bit. So for example, this is not an ad, Logitech MX Master 4. So I think this retails, I'm going to look this up for a second. Okay, so if I go on Amazon here and I type in MX Master 4. Now this is in Canadian dollars. I'm in Ontario. So the MX4 is currently $159 on Amazon, $159.99 Canadian. Now I found this at an auction. I bought a few things, but I think in the end, I got this at an auction for $73.93 Canadian. Now that's plus tax and fees. So it was probably closer to $100. I'd say it was probably 90 something dollars. But if you think about it, $160 plus tax Canadian on Amazon, and then paying all in $90. That's just, for me, that was a really good deal. And it was still in the box. It works great. And so it's like that feeling of winning a little bit. And I think for people that are on a budget, but also enjoy that treasure hunt experience, local auctions, online auctions, going to thrift stores, garage sales, things like that, those can all be a really exciting way to find some really good deals. If you don't care and you're just going to buy at retail, that's totally fine. There's warranty issues and things like that related to those things if it's big purchases. But if you're willing to take the risk and want to save some money and feel like really good about it, those are some ways to do that. Today's video specifically is about something that I got from an auction as well, and I'm going to look that up. So this item, which I'm going to show you in a second, I purchased from a local auction, a local online auction. And I bought it with another item. So this is the Sony Walkman DD. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. Like there's no like major dents or anything like that. There's some wear around the corners. This is when they made Walkmans actually out of metal. So it's solid, it's heavy, it's pretty compact actually. You can see it's not much bigger than the tape. Oh, there's actually a tape in there. Wilson Phillips, don't want to leave that in there. So I received this with another radio. I have it up here on my screen. I paid $230 for this. So I paid $230 for this and another, it was like a single speaker, kind of like work radio, Sony work radio. I sold that for about $30. So that brings me down to $200. I did a full teardown of this Walkman. I went over it, cleaned everything, replaced the gear. The gear actually is basically on these Walkmans. They all break, all of them. All of the gears, there should not be a survivor because the plastic actually shrinks and then cracks. It just happens to them all. So the Walkman did work, but you could hear this like pop, pop, pop every time that gear would go around. So I went over everything, cleaned it, tested it. It works really, really great. It has the original headphones with it. You can barely see. It does say Sony there. It's really hard to tell though. I replaced the foam because it was gross. The orange had gone like a weird brown. Yeah, it was nasty. I wouldn't even recommend ever actually listening with these. If you want to get that 80s experience, sure. They don't sound great. They're not broken. They work, and they're actually in decent shape. It's considered like that, the more high end. This one's in like a cool champagne color. At first I thought it was like silver, but then when I looked it up, there's actually a silver one. This is champagne, and I think there was like a dark gray or black or something like that. This one came out in 1982. And so the whole point of this video is basically just show the things that I find. If I keep them, that's great. Or if I sell them, I note that as well. In the first video, I didn't really go over the pricing. I felt weird doing that, but then I kind of thought about it. It's like people are willing to pay what they feel it's worth when they want it. So this is increasing in value. And the fact that this is serviced, while I'm not some licensed person, I'm pretty good at this stuff. So it has been serviced. It is clean. It is working really great. I bought the kit to actually replace the gear inside and went kind of over everything. So I think that was probably about another $30. So put that back on. So say I have about $230 Canadian invested in this. Now I just sold this yesterday. I'm going to be shipping it out today. That was in November, so it is March. It sold for just over $900 yesterday. So I'm going to be shipping that out today. I sold it on eBay, so there are fees and everything. So it's probably more like $750. So I had $230 into it. And then in the end, after fees, like I said, sold it for about $750. That does not happen all the time. There are some things that I sell for a little bit of a profit. I actually didn't want to sell this for a while. I thought this was too cool to get rid of. Because while I do like selling things and making a bit of profit, there are certain things that I really like to keep. And this one was a little bit hard to sell because I don't know if I'm going to come across one in the wild again. And I just think it's really, really cool. So in the end, the main thing that I want to say is that if you're looking for these things, kind of find the niche that you like. If it's electronics or vintage toys or certain collectibles or literature or something like that, books. Find what you like, do your research, find out what it's worth. You could even create catalogs or spreadsheets of the values and just be patient. I wasn't looking for this one necessarily, but because of it, now I go on auction sites and I search Walkman, Discman, different things like that because now it's like, oh, what else is out there? What are people getting rid of? Look for the weird stuff. Some pictures in listings are not very detailed. They're not named well. So dig into each listing on those online auctions. Click on the picture and get in there. Go to the last picture, the last listing, the last picture. Don't just rely on the description because this actually was not described well in the picture, in the pictures or the description. There's so much out there and it's super exciting. And I'd love for you to share with me some of the things that you found because it gets me excited. Not just that I found it, but that other people have found it as well. There are so many channels like video game channels and things like that where people find old video games at garage sales and stuff like that. And it's like, man, that is just so exciting. I'm not really jealous. I just think it's so cool. So feel free to let me know what is the coolest thing that you've ever found either thrifting or at a garage sale or on an auction. Let me know. Thanks for watching. See ya on the next one.